Hello and welcome to another episode of your favorite YouTube show, the 254 Gunapod. Yes, and I'm your host, Simon Kiari, all the way in Nairobi, Kenya. Now, today there is a question I'd like us to ask and try to answer because of the performances we've seen for the last two games. Let's say away at Leeds, that is at Elland Road, and the game at Southampton or the St. Mary's, and it's a bit scary. It's a bit scary what we have seen, especially in the second half of the games, because in the beginning, the first half we've been playing very well, but the second half has not been very good for both games, and we have to start wondering what is really happening because this is not how we've been accustomed to. This is not what we've been seeing before. This is something that is creeping up. This is something that is new. This is something that we have not expected before. So when we are seeing it happening right now, it's getting a bit worried because we're wondering what has changed. What has changed? The same team. So that's what we are asking. Is it fatigue or is it the same old Arsenal that crumbles down? Like we start very well, and then in the end, things starts falling apart. Now, of one issue that I need us to discuss for the two games that has been of concern. I wouldn't say it's worrying, but there is a concern in that part because this is Tomiyasu playing at left back. Okay, this is something that Arteta introduced for the first time during the. I wouldn't say the first time. I think he has played again when we were playing. I think Tottenham uh, away last season, and Tomiyasu was playing left back, and Cedric was playing at the right back. So this new season, Arteta has played Tommy at left back for three games. That is the Liverpool at home, and Leeds away, and also Southampton away. And yesterday I was very frustrated. I mean, I must, as much as I came here and uploaded my reaction, I think I was quite sad. I was quite frustrated. I've had time to cool down, think about what happened. I haven't rewatched the game, but I'm going to do that. And so that's what I wanted us to point out the things that we think possibly are causing this kind of performances that we're seeing in the last three or so games. And Tomiyasu at left back, I think is something that needs to be looked at because it started at Liverpool, where this was more of a tactical kind of change that Arteta did because of Mo Salah. And yeah, Mo Salah can be very brutal if he's not handled well. And so I think that's why Arteta felt like Tommy would be the best option, unlike Tierney, because Mo Salah likes to cut in to his left, which means if you have a right footer, he can be able to prevent that. And that's why Tomiyasu came in. And he played really well. He kept Mo Salah quiet the whole game. We didn't see much of Mo Salah in that game, which was a really, really tactical masterclass from Arteta. It was really a genius idea. It worked very well. We were able to win that game. And even Tierney, when he was asked, I think there was an interview where he was asked how he felt, and he said yes, he was gutted when the manager told him that he's not going to be playing him. But he said it's not because he's not playing very well. It's because it's a tactical switch. This is a change that he's doing out of a tactical idea, not because not because Tierney was playing badly. And the fact that we won showed that this was a good idea. Now, would we have won if it was Tierney playing on that left back? We'll never know. We'll never know. We can't say that for sure. We can't say we would win. We can't say we would lose. We don't know how Mo Salah would have been, because also Liverpool has not been at their best this season so far. So basically, it was a good idea because we won that game. So there were no complaints in that game. Now, come Leeds, we still won that game, but some murmuring started because we could feel like our left side was not as offensive as it has been in the previous games. It's not as dangerous as it have been in the previous games. And that's why now questions started creeping in. And even in my lineup prediction, I did predict that I was hoping that Arteta would start Tierney at left back, considering how the games at Leeds showed why our left side was not as dangerous as it has been for since we started. Unfortunately or fortunately, still Arteta chose Tomiyasu. Now, playing again, the Leeds change was understandable in that this was about rewarding. This was about meritocracy. This is a team that, as a coach, you also have to show that when players give a good performance, that you reward that performance. Otherwise, they're not going to be giving it up on the pitch because they'll be feeling like this is not about performance anymore. It's about favoritism, or it's about loyalty, or it's about favorites or favoritism. Now, you have to imagine that you don't want your players thinking like that. You don't want your players thinking like, I'm not out because I'm not performing well, or because the person playing my position is performing better than me. This is about loyalty. So you want them to know that they are there because they are performing well. And that's why it was prudent, or it was wise, to give Tomiyasu a starting position again at Leeds, because he had performed very well at Liverpool. So coming Leeds, it would be it'd be very hard to explain to him why he wouldn't have started at Elland Road. So that was understandable. That was understandable. That one we were like, okay, it's not what we expected, but it's understandable. You can see why he started Tommy at that position. But now come the Southampton game. That's where now we started wondering, okay, is this still about performance? Because it's not like we had a very good performance at Leeds. So why are we still playing Tommy in this position? And what does this say to Tierney? Because Tierney is not a bad player. He's been giving performances when he comes in. He's not been giving like Tavares kind of performances. No offense. He's been doing well. So why is he not starting again? Why is he like now becoming like a third choice left back? I mean, if I was Tierney, I'd be very scared. I would be asking a lot of questions. What is happening? Why is a right back playing my position? Because we'd expect that if Zinchenko is out, it's basically Tierney in. So now that Tierney is not playing and Zinchenko is injured, then Tierney has to wonder, what do I have got to do to prove that I need this, to win this position? And that's where my worry comes in. Because there's an idea that possibly Tommy was given that left back position because of aerial capabilities, aerial abilities. Because Southampton do have to have very good set pieces. You can imagine with Ward-Prowse at the end of those set pieces, he's a very good set piece taker. So you also need very good defenders, and you can see there were a lot of aerial balls from long throw-ins. All right, so maybe that, but it's one of those areas we have to ask, because we've come to be so dependent on our left side, and these two games we've not had very good goals. We've not had many goals, and our left side has not been performing very well. I mean, since the Liverpool game. So now, is it because of Tommy, or is it just fatigue? All right. Now, fatigue. it's not something to be ignored, because the teams that we've been playing are teams that have been resting the whole week. All right. And as much as we are rotating in the Europa League games, we're still using a good number of our first 11. So basically, it's not like this is a new fresh team that has rested the whole week. No, we have a couple of important players that featured in Thursday that are still playing on Sunday. And considering the amount of traveling, especially before the Leeds game, going all the way to Norway and coming back and now traveling all the way to Leeds, that kind of fatigue is expected, which can explain why we were not sure, we never showed up in the second half, you know. Now, there was one tactical switch that Arteta did at Elland Road when he realized that this game is really becoming difficult and we're not going to win. We're not going to score any more goals. So it's better to defend the lead that we have. And he brought in Holding in the formation we've become accustomed to when we see Holding, the 5-3-2. Now, this particular game, he didn't do that. I don't know, because Southampton equalized a bit earlier than he had maybe planned to introduce Holding later at the dying minutes of the game, but he never did that. But now my question is, if it's really fatigue, then we'd expect when it comes second half and we start being dominated again, or we can no longer play the same with the same intensity that we were playing it the first half, should we then introduce Holding in like the past the hour mark and start defending and hope that we can have our runners try to make something out of the counter attacks instead of just trying to score or trying to play with the same intensity, which we cannot match, and then we suffer like we suffered yesterday. All right. So I think fatigue is a real option here. It's possible. I mean, the PSV game, we really played most of our first 11. We started Gabriel Jesus. We started Xhaka. We started we started Gabriel, Ben White. I mean, Saka. A couple of our first 11 that featured on that game. So you can understand why maybe fatigue may be an issue. But we have to be able to manage this fatigue, because this is not going to change. This is not going to change. We are still going to be meeting the bottom half teams, which are not in Europe, which are not playing weekly games, and we have to really show up. That cannot be an excuse. We can't crumble down because of that. We can't. All right. So basically, there needs to be a solution to that. I don't know what kind of solution that this team should have. But going to the next PSV game, this is a game that we only need a draw. Now, knowing Arteta, I don't think he's going to go with a weaker team because we're looking for a draw and try to defend the whole 90. No, I know he's going to play maybe a strong team and try to win it, and then sit back and wait, which is also a good strategy, because you can also start with a stronger team, score, and now you can put in the rotation and defend the lead, because even if they equalize, you're still safe. We only need a draw for the next two games, and if we can win at PSV or draw, then that means the game at Zurich or the game at home against Zurich, the walkover will be of no importance to us. Winning that game will not be of any importance. So that will mean you can rest all your first 11 in that particular game and play the weaker team, or maybe the B team. All right, you can give minutes to people like Cedric, people like Marquinhos, people like Nelson, Nketiah, Sambi. That's what I'm saying, because There has to be a solution. There has to be a solution. For me, I think, in my opinion, I think let's try and win that PSB game early. Let's try and win it in the first half. In second half, we can put in a different team and we can save our first 11 and they can rest, you know. Yeah, play Gabriel Jesus in that game because I don't want to see Jesus playing on Sunday against Forest because if he gets a yellow on that game, then at Chelsea, we're missing him. He already has 4 yellow cards, just 1 yellow card away from 1 game suspension, and we don't want that to happen. So I'm really hoping that they're gonna play him on Thursday against PSV, and Nketiah is gonna play on Sunday against Forest. I really hope that will be the plan because I'll be very surprised if I see Jesus on Sunday, but I'll be very, very disappointed. I'll be very, very disappointed. That would be very risky. That would be very, very risky because getting a yellow card for someone who plays very physical, and you can see how he's been playing these games because of that yellow card. He's not been very physical as he usually is. He's not been going for those tackles as he normally goes for because I think he's afraid of getting that yellow card in the wrong kind of game. All right. Because those 2 games, the way we've been playing, if we didn't have Jesus there, I don't know what kind of game that would have been. Been scary. I don't know if we win those games. I don't think we win against Leeds if Jesus is not playing. I don't think we draw against Southampton if Jesus is not playing. So you can see why he's been avoiding getting a yellow card. But yesterday against Southampton, I don't know why. What was he afraid of? He can get a yellow card. He'll only miss Forest game. And we can get over this. We can get over this yellow card thing hanging on him because it's worrying me because I know Ateta can still play him. Ateta wants to win all games. It doesn't matter at what cost. He wants to win. And it's not a bad thing to want to win. But you also have to be very wise in these kind of scenarios. Every game is important, but there are some games that are really more important. All right? There are no easy games here. And all games should be taken with all the seriousness it deserves. But then again, there are games that you want your best team out there. You don't want to risk any of them. You don't want to risk losing any of them. All right. You do because if we get those 3 points at Chelsea on November 6th, it's a big statement. It's a big statement. It's a morale booster. It's a confidence builder. We go into that World Cup break with a lot of confidence, a lot of confidence. And that will show up when we come back in January. Or December, I think, yeah. Part of December, end of December. Yeah. So basically, I'm hoping they don't do that. I'm really hoping they don't do that. Now, if you're watching this right now or you're watching it later and you haven't subscribed, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. All right. Share your comment, share your opinion. This is a show that we don't fear banters. You can throw your banter if you're a Rival fan. Say anything. Say what is on your mind. We'll discuss it in the next show. All right. But please, please, please make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. We'll be releasing videos daily, talking about Arsenal, talking about everything happening in the world of football, especially in the EPL. Yeah, and I don't know what to say. I love Arsenal Football Club. I love Arsenal. Sometimes I wonder how did I come to be an Arsenal fan? How did I become this attached? I mean, you could have seen me yesterday. I was so sad. I was so sad. I couldn't make any what can I say? I couldn't even talk for a few minutes after that game was over. I was just trying to wonder how the hell did we draw that game? This was our game to win. It was so important for us to win. How did we not win this game? I was so pissed off. I was so pissed off. And so I'm saying this team brings a lot of emotions for me, and I believe it does for a lot of you Gunners. So please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about Arsenal. Let's talk about this beautiful football club. Let's talk about our love for this beautiful football club and the love of football, love of the game. All right. Yeah, and I think that will be the end of this pod. And I really hope you've enjoyed it. If I said anything that you don't agree with, it's an opinion. You can always disagree with it. You don't have to agree with everything I say. That's in the way I see it, the way I think about it. It's my opinion. It's basically just my opinion. It's not like the gospel truth here. No, it's just my opinion. I'm just a football fan. I'm an Arsenal fan. And most of you even know football more than I do. Most of you know Arsenal more than I do. So basically, there are things I could be missing. There are things I could be saying differently. That's why we're here. So we talk about. I just like talking about Arsenal because I love Arsenal. I love Arsenal so much, so much. I love this club. Yeah. So basically, like I said, please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you also turn on your notification bell so that you are not left behind when I release an episode. And I normally go live, so you also be notified when I'm going live. Yes. And until the next one, peace.